Okay, welcome back. This module is called the conductor. So in this module, we're going to talk about how to deliver incredible group coaching sessions. And when you're delivering group coaching, you want every member of your group to feel connected, to feel engaged, excited, seen, heard. And you also want to avoid getting into, let's say, deep one-on-one conversations with one member or with an individual of the group that don't benefit the others. You don't want people to get bored or disconnected. And the mission of what we're doing here with actually everything in Odyssey is creating community. You want to create community with your individual members. And I want to share a secret of how I discovered 3 keys of creating community that will help you in running group coaching calls. And I'm chuckling a bit because of where I learned this. And it was at a Lady Gaga concert. So let me tell you this story. In 2014, when I first started Archangel, I was doing a lot of research around tribe building and community building. And I was fascinated with the music industry because at the time, most sales were in decline. But there were some artists that were doing really well. She was one of them. I wasn't even a big fan. I kind of liked her music, but I wanted to figure out what was it about her that allowed her to dominate in the music scene. And I bought tickets to the concert, and I'm pretty sure I was the only person out of the 20,000 people there with a notepad and a pencil. This is a true story. I was taking notes. Now, here's what I learned. These 3 key lessons about building community, and I call them the 3 C's. So the first one is culture. What Lady Gaga did masterfully is creating culture amongst her fans. So it wasn't just a one-on-one relationship with her. They were connected to each other. And they have their own brand. So they're called Little Monsters. They're not just Lady Gaga fans. They have their own social media platform. They have their own language, their own secret handshake, right? So this is their platform. Their handshake is called Paws Up. They have this paw greeting thing they do. And there's a lot more to it. But the idea is they have culture. And most importantly, they feel safe to be themselves when they're around each other. And by being in the Archangel world, I'm sure the longer you're in our community, the more you feel safe to be yourself. And I think that's part of this. When you're creating your group, one of the things to think about is to allow your group members to feel safe to be themselves. The second thing that she did so incredibly well was what I would call customization. So when she's on stage, fans would throw all kinds of stuff to her on stage. And instead of having security or staff clear the stuff or the debris, she actually picks everything up and interacts with it. So she's engaging with the audience to create a custom show each time. Now, if you think about how concerts work today, most fans will go on YouTube and watch videos of concerts. And these artists, they tour. And if you've seen the show online, you want your own experience. So what she did really well was turn every show into something unique by interacting with the audience. And here's an example. This is a photo of the concert I went to. Some fan threw a Canadian flag. Instead of, tossing it to the side, she picked it up, draped it around her, danced around with this flag. If you were that fan, how would you feel to see the thing that you threw on stage become part of the show? It creates a custom show for you. And the last C is connection. She creates an opportunity for the fans to connect with each other, not just with her, but with each other on an emotional level. And even if and when she's interacting with one person, everyone feels like they're part of the story. So here's a story to exemplify this. This is actually a screenshot from a video I took that day. So I apologize for the fuzziness, but there was a moment where she was singing, people were throwing things on stage. Someone threw a letter in an envelope. She literally stops performing, picks up the letter, walks over to a piano, opens the letter, and starts riffing on the piano while she's reading the letter. And the letter was from a fan named Brittany. It's years later, and I still remember her name. Brittany says in the letter, Gaga, I think she said 16 years old, and recently came out to my parents, and they kicked me out. And the story got more and more dramatic and tense. And she literally stopped reading, stopped playing, and said, "Where's this Britney bitch?" Her words, not mine. They bring the fan on stage, and you can see them sitting next to each other at the piano. She sits her next to her at the piano, tells her about her own story of going through anxiety and depression and different things. The entire 20,000 people is at an emotional high. Like we are all, many people crying. I was crying. And then Gaga starts playing her song Born This Way on the piano as an acoustic thing and sings it to Britney. So she starts, hey, Britney, so I'm not going to sing, but the idea was, there's the customization again. And yet she was singing to one person and everyone in the audience felt connected to each other and to this moment. It was one of the most moving experiences I've ever been a part of. So even though she was interacting with one person, everyone was connected. So my question to you now is, how do you create culture and customization and connection during your group coaching calls to turn your individual clients into community? Well, you're about to find out. So see you all very soon.